We are live now.
We are live.
Hey!
We are live.
That's right, we are live.
Rockefeller Center.
No, are you sure? Are you sure
No.
we're live at Rockefeller Center? Is that really possible?
Oh! Quiz whiz.
Look at that.
We can do that.
Oh, wow. Looky there.
He's going to figure out how to use it. But,
Return of the Jedi Quiz Whiz. I haven't seen that since
Wow.
1983.
Yeah, I'm going to hand this down to James. James what? This
It's
is
like
crazy.
the no button, but better. Hold on.
You're wrong. You don't know anything about Star Wars.
You're completely incorrect.
Oh my goodness.
You're bad at life.
So that's quite a kickoff to our holiday special here, live from Krypton Comics here in downtown Exeter, New Hampshire. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Hopefully you're having an awesome time. Hopefully you're having a wonderful, wonderful holiday season, making sure you get all those lovely gifts. Of course, sitting to the right of me, let's start this bad boy off. Mr. Sean Michaud. Happy holidays, my
Happy
friend.
holidays. Where's your Santa hat?
I don't know. I think I have to grab one of these and throw a Santa hat on at this point,
Nice.
right?
No,
I think that's the fair thing to do, right?
Dollar Tree. Great stuff.
Great stuff over there, yeah. I have a very, very interesting head.
Well, mine's not matching.
I know, it's large and it's round.
Mine's
Yeah,
not
look like
matching,
an
but
elf.
mine's...
I love it. You know what? But hey, I have to fit in some point here, so. James is gonna have way too much fun with this thing throughout this episode.
You've got too late for the opportune moment.
Oh my goodness! Everybody out there, if you're watching this on Facebook right now, please make sure to share this out. You're gonna wish that you never watched this.
You're going to wish yourself
Oh,
a
yeah.
Merry Christmas.
This is like an hour of your life, 2 hours of your life. You're never going to get
never
back.
gonna be able to
Never
get
going to
back.
get back.
I'm not going to get
Never.
it back.
Sean, how is your holiday season going, by the way, buddy?
Fantastic.
You're having a lot of fun. Be able to get some gifts for the family and everything.
I am. Went shopping the other day. Got some shopping done. Not quite done yet.
Right.
And we haven't put up the tree yet. So
Oh, you got to get on top of that.
we're going to be doing that. We'll be waiting until everyone else comes home. So
Yeah. No, that
been
makes
waiting
sense.
for that.
Want to
so.
wait for your brother to come home and for everybody to come home for the holiday season. Mr.
Yeah.
James Brown, my man.
Good
That
day.
finger, though. I mean,
They got my saluting finger, Lieutenant Dan.
I mean, listen, it's good to see you, James. Been talking a lot between you and
Yeah.
Cade more recently, just figuring out Xmas at Brewskins. Big shout out, Rebel Cause Lancaster, the entire crew down there, December 22nd. He's trying to point it out.
There.
Right there. There you go. There you go. You're covering it up.
Do we have to pay him royalties for having that prominently?
Later.
Cool.
But yeah, so we're super excited about Xmas at Brewskins, Starbecue, Rebel Cause Lancaster. Steve Kirk's going to be coming from the West Coast. Whoop, whoop. Steve
Whoop.
Kirk, we look forward to seeing you there, my friend. And lots of other great Star Wars podcasts from that area. Mike Moriarty, wish you could be there, of course. But, you know, James, it's going to be a grand old time. It's the wing competition, the live podcasting.
Which I will be hosting, by the way.
Yes. I cannot wait to hear
Dressed
James'
as
voice.
Santa Claus.
Isn't that a spoiler alert?
Not really.
No. There's other things that we can't say.
Gotta have Santa
Well,
Claus.
there's going
You
to be
do.
plenty of stuff. Yeah, we got to have Santa, and we figured this is some kind of like the fluffiest one here. I kind of got to wear the suit. Yeah.
You said it. We didn't. So
Caden said it first.
did he really?
Mhm.
Caden, watch it, buddy. Watch it. You can't be saying those things.
Is he your little helper?
he said his little helper.
Yeah, I'm going to have Caden sitting on one knee and Steve Kirk sitting on the other. Robin, you can take place right in the middle.
You know what? Hey, I'm not going to say yes or no, and I can neither confirm nor deny that that's been a conversation at some point. But anyway, moving on to some of the main topics here with our holiday special. Really, like our real focus here today. I've already had a couple people message me saying, hey, we're going to try our best to bring down some unwrapped gifts for our toy drive. So we're super excited about that. We have free hot cocoa down here for all the people here in Exeter who are coming in to listen and to shop for the holiday season. And James, let's show the people what we were just handed by Mr. Joe Galvin himself here.
Mr. Joe Galvin here. Funny thing, I went to high school with his son, which I figured out the first time we came down here.
Isn't that crazy?
He just brought over the old 1980s Tiger Star Wars Quiz Whiz game.
That's crazy.
Which I recall this. Oops. I recall this fondly from when I was a kid. As right, it's got a New Hope, which is still just episode 4 there.
Yeah, that's right.
It's got Empire, and even better, it's got Jedi. And you can expect to hear this sound a few times throughout the show. At opportune moments. I remember this game actually fondly from when I was a kid. My cousins, Tom and Nathan, had this, and they always had like the wicked cool toys that none of our parents would get us, like all the original Star Wars action figures and such, like the big old Millennium Falcon and stuff.
Oh yeah,
everything. And that was just like that was like the highlight of going over to play with them, aside from seeing my cousins and everything, which kind of took a backseat at that age to playing with a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff. And we never really figured out how to use this game because it had been around since before any of us were born.
That's true.
So we used to just sit there and ask each other questions and occasionally just and then it will tell you that you're wrong at some points, which is great because these toys from the 80s didn't cater to that whole participation trophies for everybody. If you were wrong, you were wrong.
That's how it was,
Yeah, and now it's finally we have one right here, courtesy of Joe Galvin, and this thing is like, oh my god!
I think
I'm having some nostalgia. We might actually have some fun with this. May or may not actually break this thing out later and see if we can figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's totally worth breaking out and checking out. Sean, what is your like fondest holiday tradition, whether it involves Star Wars or not? Like, what's one thing you can kind of reflect on when it comes to? Well, you know what I asked. What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
What was the question?
This is
your fondest holiday memory.
Buddy,
what is it?
This is his answer too.
Well, you know what?
It's not actually.
No,
I'm trying to ask questions. Folks, I'm trying to ask questions to these.
300 questions per book.
Oh my goodness gracious! What?
Anyway,
Okay,
300 questions
fondest memory.
Yeah, when it comes to holidays
of Star Wars.
of Star Wars,
Of Star Wars.
I would hope so.
I gotta think about that.
I got an answer for you.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm still going to go with the fact that, and I've said this a few times, there was a TV special back in the day, I believe it aired on Spike, that had a whole bunch of Star Wars fan films, and there was this great little Christmas music video called Christmas Tauntauns.
Right.
And it is probably the most adorable thing you will ever watch. It's on YouTube. The person released the rights to it. They're just like, yeah, I made this thing back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was kind of cool. And people liked it. So there you go. So it's out on YouTube, and it's actually probably one of my favorite Christmas songs, aside from the ones that I make up on our voice chats that are wildly inappropriate that I can't sing here.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
No, it's wonderful. It's adorable. It's cute. I watched. I know I watched it with my dad a lot. I know that my family usually watches that among some other Star Wars stuff with the kids.
Right.
And I still have yet to see the holiday special. So.
Oh well, that will be solved at Xmas at Brewskins this year.
Yeah,
too.
That's what I've heard.
So.
You haven't seen the holiday special, really?
No.
I figured that's a time period in my life that I'm not going to get back, so I might as well be doing something fun while I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's actually a really good point.
I just chose not to watch it.
Right.
I mean, that's almost as bad as Ewok Adventures.
Yeah, but you see, the thing about Ewok Adventures, though, is that I really enjoyed the second one more than the first one.
I haven't seen either.
Okay, so I can't have that conversation now. All right, so we'll get back to Ewok Adventures at some point because it is. Battle for Endor is one of those films you just kind of look at and you're like, it's kind of corny, but at the same time, it's kind of fun if you reflect on being a kid and.
That sounds like most movies from that time period.
Yeah, essentially.
They all really sucked. Like we all know, Breakfast Club. That's a classic right there.
Oh, absolutely.
It absolutely sucks. It's a terrible movie, but
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Right, terrible movies, terrible acting, but classic because they're fun.
That's right. Know? That's right. That's a very good point. Sean, do you have your fondest Christmas memory? It can be Star Wars related. It doesn't have to be. I know we kind of talked about it actually on.
Yeah, I mean,
if we're going non-Star Wars,
yes,
that's entirely different.
If it's non-Star Wars, see, we didn't celebrate with Star Wars so much of it with the Christmas. I mean, I get the occasional Star Wars gifts and all that, but probably my fondest memory I had was we talked about the other night during our podcast, and you'll probably hear that once that episode releases is getting my Nintendo 64 with Donkey Kong, and it was my first console I ever got, and for me, I'll never forget it because it's such a cherished moment I had when as a kid, and I was so excited. And then I started getting, of course, Star Wars Pod Racing.
Oh,
which is
yes.
Great game.
Great game.
In that year, I guess same year I got that. So that was one of my fondest Christmas memories per se. Kind of ties in with Star Wars. Just throwing in the Star Wars podcasting.
Yeah.
Star Wars Pod Racer podcasting.
Well, yeah.
Star Wars the podcasting game. There we go.
That actually would be
Star Wars podcaster.
Star Wars podcaster. Wow.
Star Wars podcaster, you got to try and dodge copyright infringement while entertaining the masses.
Hey, EA.
Yep.
We're here.
EA Games, I challenge you because you challenge everything.
That's right.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I also challenge you to put out a good game that doesn't have a bunch of microtransactions. It's actually a complete game when you first release it.
Yeah, that'd be super helpful. I think my fondest holiday memory is when I went to go see my cousins. I was probably 4 or 5, and it was like all the votes just got together one Christmas, and it was in Connecticut, backwoods, this log cabin of a house. It was my
I do
great
have
aunts and
memory,
uncles.
too.
Yeah, it was my great aunt and uncle's place, and the parents stayed upstairs. They had a jolly good time upstairs, of
I'm
course.
sure they did.
And everybody was just allowed to crash that night. The kids all had their own space in the living room, and we had like our sleeping bags all set up. They had Santa come and do everything on Christmas Eve, and the parents had a great time. Now I wonder, now as an adult, it's like, wow, yeah, it would have been nice to have been an adult at that party. But as kids, we were down there playing with the Christmas train set up, and at the time, this was probably
Mousetrap.
yeah, board games.
Yeah, especially the big train. I mean, same here with me. Not to interrupt, but it's kind of the same thing. Same around age, around 5, 6, but
Yeah.
family of my mom's side, and we all stayed in Lake Tahoe. We went
Oh,
for
wow.
that weekend, and
Lake Tahoe.
yeah, Lake Tahoe, and everyone. I remember hearing Santa causes the bells. I know it's probably the parents and all, but
Of
doing
course,
that.
of course. But
I mean, it was one of the fondest memories
what do
I
you mean
had.
it wasn't Santa?
Santa's not real.
No, we're not going to say that with kids in the room.
I mean, Santa's real.
So we had, and actually, we're going with the non-Star Wars memory.
Yeah.
I think my fondest Christmas memory of all time. I think I was like 6, 7 years old, and the house that I lived in growing up had this big old hill out back. So we always had like a nice sledding hill. And one night we're just kind of chilling there, and we get this knock at the back slider door. There was a sliding glass door that led right into the family room. We're all sitting there watching Island of Misfit Toys and all the all those things you love.
Great classic.
And
Great classic.
Santa Claus is standing there at the door. And the door slides open, and he lays down this big, like 8-foot long toboggan on the floor of the family room. Says, "Ho, ho, ho, Merry Christmas," and pieces out. And it's like, all right, cool. So it was actually really cool that, and this is kind of what I really am thankful about growing up is my parents were awesome. They set this whole thing up for us so that Santa would deliver us this sled to the door on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Drop it off, and we'd get that big Christmas present, but that both me and my brother could use all at once. And it was just an awesome, awesome time after that. That toboggan served us well until I was too big and fat to use it and broke it. But it was some good times.
It reminds me of the episode of Rugrats Christmas.
I never watched Rugrats.
No,
I wasn't allowed to watch TV.
That. Yeah, no, I have to say there was very few shows I was allowed to watch other than some of the Nickelodeon
My mom
shows.
saw
But
one
I
episode
do
of Ren and
remember that
Stimpy and
I
said
mean,
it was the
kind
devil.
of, his story,
Yeah,
her
yeah.
story kind of reminds me of it.
a little bit of that. Yeah, that's true. Very similar in many different ways. Yeah, I think Star Wars Christmas memory. I have to go back to when Force Awakens came out in 2000.
I think last year was my
15.
Christmas memory. We did all the Christmas gifts and
Oh yes.
and everyone showed up, and I think that's my fondest Star Wars Christmas memory.
Yeah.
Which was last year.
That's a good one. That's
That
a really
was a good one. We actually had that here, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was here. It was here. That's right.
Well, I guess this might end up turning out to be like an annual tradition.
Yeah, I'm thinking going forward, our holiday special here from Krypton definitely makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense in terms of how we do our holiday time stuff here at the network. And yeah, I have to agree. I think, all the stuff that we've done here at Krypton Comics, 2015 when Force Awakens came out, I mean, that was like the ultimate Christmas gift that year was seeing Star Wars in the theater just before Christmas time. Literally a week before Christmas. And it was just a great time to be a Star Wars fan. And I think I remember even saying to my parents, I'm like, I already saw The Force Awakens 3 times. Like, I really don't want anything for Christmas. I don't. Give me a couple gift cards. Like, sure. But I've already got my
to
Christmas.
buy coffee on the way to work. For
Yeah,
like
no
the
way.
next 2 weeks.
Yeah, seriously. And it was really our Christmas gift that year was getting Star Wars back. And I reflect on it all the time. I'm like, where we are today. And it's a little unfortunate that this December we didn't get a Star Wars movie. I think
I'm okay with it.
You think so?
I'm okay with it for a couple of different reasons. In
Yeah.
that we got rapid fire Force Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi, and Solo. And those came out kind of all like one right after the other. I'm okay with a little break in between now and episode 9. Like, it's all right, yeah. Game of Thrones a little bit. Build up the suspense, you know?
Yeah.
And the only downside to that is if episode 9 absolutely is terrible, then we just waited a whole bunch of time for nothing.
Right.
Well, we do have the shows coming out.
We do have the shows coming out. We got Mandalorian. We got
well, Clone Wars is coming back.
Clone Wars is coming back to finish off, which I'm definitely okay with. They left that one on a cliffhanger, even though we know what happens. I'd really like to see them put it into production, so I'm happy they're doing that. And do we have anything else?
Cassian Andor series.
Really?
Yeah, that whole Rogue One. Where did Cassian Andor come from? Because he said in Rogue One, I've been in this fight since I was 7 years old, and they're really now they're going to go back and not necessarily look at when he was very young, but they're going to look at we can't go that far back because Diego Luna's like in his mid-30s. We have to be able to go almost back to his teenage years and look at and see what those look
just
like.
Grab a similar child actor to play young Cassian Andor.
Yeah, I think you could.
You could easily do that. They could go back to young Cassian Andor. I'd like to see his origin story. He's probably one of my favorite characters to come out of this.
Yeah, that's true.
He lends that air of kind of I will do anything to win this fight that you get from the rebels, and he shows that the rebels weren't always sunshine and rainbows like they were portrayed in episodes 4, 5, and 6.
That's a really good point.
It's weird stuff, like shooting a guy in the back because he couldn't move fast.
Well, that's interesting. An injured guy, like he had all that intel and everything, and
calling the herd.
Issues. Yeah.
Calling the herd.
He had no issues putting that blaster shot to him.
He ended up, I believe they call that retiring an asset in the intelligence world.
Yeah, it's essentially what he did, and then he climbed out of that situation.
Yep.
I think there's a lot more to that character that we could explore.
Zero F's given.
Yeah, you could say that. That's true. Yep. I mean, the other thing too is that chocolate looks. Yeah, actually, thank you. Is it good?
It's Dunkin' Donuts hot chocolate.
Ooh. It's the palate nicely.
Now, if I told you how they made this hot chocolate,
you would probably throw it away.
Probably. They'd have to kill you.
No, I worked for them for 3 years. They didn't kill me. No. What are you doing? That's mine.
When you said no, it's like, no, I don't want this.
Oh, man.
They couldn't kill me if they tried. They did try for 3 years.
Did they really?
Oh, yeah.
Try to put you out?
Oh, they tried to kill me.
Happy holidays?
Hey, happy holidays, guys. Hot cocoa.
Chava, Nagila Chava, Nagila Chava, Venice Merchant.
That's good. That is very good. Yeah, I think let's.
Aaron, you want?
You more? Yeah. Cocoa.
I'll take some in a minute.
Listen, I want to talk about some episode 9 stuff because we're getting close. I keep hearing stuff from multiple people who know things, I guess you could say, who are saying that there is a possibility that before the end of this year, we could at least see a teaser for episode 9. Either a title with a quick
this month, you mean?
Essentially, yes. Either that or to kick off the new year, we would see a teaser with an episode title.
Either way, I'm okay with it. I just want to see something.
Yeah.
What I would really like to see is a trailer that gives us all the hype that we're looking for, but then a movie who backs up that hype.
Gotcha.
Because the hype on both of the trailers for Force Awakens and Last Jedi was, some hype train level stuff.
Right.
And both the movies, in my opinion, as we know, did not live up to the hype.
Gotcha.
So I'm hoping that this year, this movie, we're going to get ourselves a hype train that leads to actual hype. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. What do you think, Sean?
I think that will happen. I mean, we talked about this last night.
Yeah, we did.
And I would most likely love to see at least a title and somewhat of like a short teaser trailer of either Kyler or Rey. And just see that. I know, James.
No, I want to see that last scene where Vader's just being Vader in Rogue One. I want to see Kylo Ren do something that badass.
Yeah.
Just I've seen Kylo Ren be a whiny little punk. I've seen Kylo Ren, betray his master. He's slowly getting to the level of evil that we know he can be. I just want to see unadulterated Kylo Ren slaughtering his way through a bunch of unsuspecting Resistance fighters.
Oh.
And I really hope he does that during Episode 9.
I hope that it ends with Rey.
That's
like,
an interesting
Rey,
point.
you had very little training, and I've had a bunch. So in a straight fight, I was tooling with you on the Mega Star Destroyer. I was sitting there, and I was playing with you. Right now, we figured out you're not going to turn to the dark side, so I'm just going to swing.
Yeah. It's fascinating because if you recently watched the latest episode, I know a lot of our listeners, they also listen to a lot of Collider Jedi Council, our good friends in Collider out in Burbank, California. Big shout out to you, Mark Yodi, Riley, Christian Harloff, the entire crew. More recently, they brought up this point of which combo in episode 9 are you looking forward to seeing the most? And there was an interesting point. Everybody said, well, Rose and Finn is a really good one. You have Poe Dameron, and then possibly maybe we see some development with, maybe Poe Dameron and Finn and Rose, because that was kind of teased at a little bit in The Last Jedi. That was a conversation too, is who's John Boyega's Finn? What is his true love interest in all this? And a lot of people were like, Poe and Finn might be interesting.
Here's the thing, man, and this is the one thing that I'm trying to be semi-PC about. You've got so much backlash over the Lando Calrissian is pansexual, xenosexual, doesn't really care what species and / or gender you are, which makes sense for Lando Calrissian's character.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Finn, I feel like that's pushing it.
Okay.
I feel like that's getting the LGBTQ community all riled up for no reason. It's getting the people on the other side of it all riled up for no reason. If you have Finn and Poe get together, you're going to have a lot of negative backlash. If they don't get together, you're going to have no negative backlash. Because nobody from the LGBTQ community is going to be like, there's no gay characters in this movie and it's hateful. They're going to be like, it's Star Wars. We love it. And,
right.
Coming from my own personal standpoint here, I could not possibly care less. Star Trek Discovery has the first openly gay character in Star Trek.
Right.
But the thing is, it fits with the storyline, and also the actor who played Mark in Rent.
Oh yeah.
Is absolutely fantastic, and the way that he plays his character, there's no other way that he can be, and that's the thing that, like, I feel like they put the Poe Dameron Finn thing in. That's pushing it, that's stretching it, and that's forcing it. No pun intended.
No. It's true.
Just also let the fans.
Right, like let the fans
not decide, but
leave some mystery to it. You don't need a love interest for every character. Rey and Kylo. Hell, I'd like to see Rey and Poe show.
Yes,
like
thank you.
No, here's the thing: I want Rey and Poe to get together, Kylo to get pissed off, and that's why Kylo kills Rey.
Wow.
Or that's why Kylo kills Poe.
That's an interesting development.
Rey should just be herself.
She
doesn't need a love interest.
No, she doesn't. I think, and this was why I brought up Collider Jedi Council in this conversation, is because they mentioned this whole point of, okay, the only thing that could truly scare the First Order is not necessarily Finn and Rose. I mean, yeah, they were able to infiltrate the Supremacy, and they were able to get basically farther than they thought they could with DJ, but DJ had to turn around and do his thing. But the whole development of Rey and Poe Dameron on the side, I feel like we do focus on, like, especially in The Last Jedi, we do have this focus on what Rey is doing and then what the Resistance is doing. But are we truly looking at the Resistance, or are we looking at what Poe Dameron is doing? I think we're looking more at Poe Dameron between Force Awakens with Rey and him, and Last Jedi with those two.
I would love to see them together, but we don't know their relationship at
right,
all.
But they're enough to scare the First Order together because of Poe's skills and because of Rey's.
However, the entirety of the Resistance is currently aboard the Millennium Falcon.
Correct.
The entirety.
Yep.
There's like 10 of them.
Yep.
That's it. And whereas, yeah, you know, 4 of those characters, Ray, Poe, Finn, and what's his face? Rose. What's her face? Rose. I'm sorry. Kelly Marie Tran, I am so sorry. But you have Ray, Poe, Finn, and Rose. And Leia, who is not going to be in the picture anymore for obvious reasons. And then BB-8. And frankly, I'd like to see BB-8 and R2 hit it off because I think that'd be a great couple.
Huh.
And I think it's about time that R2 and 3PO broke it off because that
Yeah.
robosexual relationship is getting old for everybody.
Yeah. Understandable.
But that'd be the funniest love triangle for me.
It's not out of the picture.
Data access ports and stuff.
Well, look at what they did with Lando and L3.
Yeah.
In Solo, essentially.
I don't think that was an entirely kosher relationship, though. Just knowing the fact that Lando's a freak.
And if you read the newest comics of him with Lando, it's pretty telling.
It's pretty telling, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have R2. What do you mean you've been speaking to the Millennium Falcon? What do you mean it's been saying things to you?
You said what now? And R2's just like, we boop.
It's true. Essentially. And
either that or L3, who is actually the voice of the Millennium Falcon, which I love how they tied that in.
Yes, isn't that
to
great?
When 3PO's talking to the Falcon in Empire, and it's like, well, now we know how he's talking to the Falcon. And they've always had that there's a droid brain in the Falcon's hyperdrive computer, and now they actually gave it like a personality. And the fact that that's the personality of the Falcon fits in so well with Han Solo just being like the belligerent ass that he is.
It's true. It's a really good point. Was. Yeah. I totally agree on so many levels. I mean, I feel that one of the things that Episode 9 could do, and Kevin Smith more recently came out on Good Morning America, and he was talking about being behind the scenes on Episode 9, and he specifically said that J.J. Abrams is doing the God's work with Episode 9. And for a hardcore...
Wait, is Kevin Smith in Episode 9?
No. He was just visiting. Trust me, I would love to see.
Surprise!
I think Kevin Smith would love to be in a Star Wars movie.
Why wouldn't you at this point?
And you have Jay and Silent Bob just make a cameo appearance somewhere on like just hanging out in the cantina.
You could do Tag and Bink style with Jay and Silent Bob in Star Wars. Yeah, you could totally do that. That would be a great little. Both be stormtroopers.
15 creds, little man.
I love it. Yeah, but Kevin Smith said that.
You ever had your Ronto licked by a fat man in a Jedi robe?
Oh, no.
Kevin Smith, I really hope you're watching this, man.
Oh, Kevin, please watch this right now just for James Brown's comment. But listen, for Kevin Smith to have such high praise about Episode 9, and then to say he got emotional during one specific part, there's got to be something deep. The other thing with that, too, is that what would be amazing is to see Lando go back into the Falcon and walk up to the hyperdrive computer and pat it and just be like, "It's good to see you, girl." That would be like, whoa, deep level.
I want to know how drunk Billy D is going to be for that scene, though.
Have you seen the recent videos of him working out?
No.
Oh, he's pumping iron.
Beast mode? The guy's 81 years old, dude.
I know.
So I've said this before. Boston Comic-Con, I got the opportunity to meet Billy D. Williams. I got his autograph and everything, and you know we had a short conversation. And the guy looks good for 81 years old.
He does.
Mentally, I'm not sure he's all there, but he for 81 years old, he's pumping it, and he looked very, very tired. Excuse me, very, very tired when I saw him. And oh golly.
The hot chocolate, right?
That hot chocolate is right where it counts. There's a bottle of pumpkin Baileys in my fridge that I wish I brought to put in there.
Yeah, I agree.
But he looked very, very tired, and we know that he took a break from his working out and everything to come down for Boston Comic-Con.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm really excited to see what his role is in Episode 9, and I suffice to say that's actually the part of the movie that I'm most excited about.
Yeah.
And it's not seeing where the story goes, because the story is going to go somewhere. We all know it's going to go somewhere. I want to see what they do with Lando.
Yeah,
that's true. Donnie Glover's recap of that role, and Donnie Glover did a fantastic job.
Fantastic.
That is one of my favorite Star Wars character entrances. Is you hear him before you see him, and you're like, "Oh my God, that's Billy D. Williams!" And then, holy crap, it's Donnie Glover doing Billy D. better than Billy D. And it was great. It was fantastic.
Just because Donald Glover is a fantastic actor.
Yeah,
fantastic actor. Childish Gambino, great rapper.
And of course, his
His stand-up is hilarious.
And I just wanted to would love to see Billy D. Williams and Donald Glover just interact with each other.
Well, I think one of the amazing things about what we could see in episode 9 too, and what he also may be talking about emotionally, I'm talking about Kevin Smith when he was mentioning some of the emotional.
Finn's Lando's son.
Well,
illegitimate child.
Well, there could be something there.
I've heard theories.
Half Twi'lek.
Or wow, that's deep.
Possibly grand.
One of the things we could be talking about.
Tuscan.
One of the things we could be talking about with this is the whole idea of Lando is sitting there with Leia in a scene, or is talking to Poe and Rey about his experiences with Han, and we do get almost a flashback.
The man was a fantastic lover.
And there's a cut scene from Solo: A Star Wars Story that was not used between Donald and Alden Ehrenreich Han Solo, and that's the flashback in Episode 9. They've used those two characters again in a flashback. There was a lot of scenes cut from Solo: A Star Wars Story that I think that JJ could say, yep, let's take that. Let's throw that in there as a flashback between Billy D and everybody else. That would be a fantastic way of grabbing all those fans and also legitimizing Solo: A Star Wars Story. Legitimizing it where people were like, eh.
That's one thing that I'll never understand is why Solo: A Star Wars Story got such a bad rap.
I know.
It was a good movie. Yeah. It was funny. It was a step away from the like dreary, like black Star Wars that we're getting, and it was nice. Yeah. It was refreshing. And I liked the dark.
It was because Solo was the main title of it. I think that's why people don't want
it. It should have been called Chewbacca.
Just essentially, yes.
Right, because he was the main character. I don't care what anybody says.
Mm-hmm.
But
it should have been Lando.
You ever taken a nap on a lap of Wookiee?
Oh, I love Jon Favreau.
Oh my god, that was so good. Props to Jon Favreau for that. I hate that they killed that character off.
He would have been great to see.
Yeah, I'd like to see him like show up in some of the new movies, like an old, decrepit, four-armed alien who likes taking naps and Wookiee laps.
How much you want to
show up in the Cassian Andor series? That would
right. That'd be cool, right? But I forget what I was saying now.
You're talking about.
Oh yeah, I like the fact that Solo was funny, and I like the fact that it didn't really take anything too seriously.
Yeah.
While still remaining true to canon.
That's true.
And also adding new elements to the canon that we really couldn't have gotten any other way else.
That's true.
How else are you going to recanonize Exar Kun? Aside from doing like a whole Old Republic TV series or something, which I still want to see.
True.
But I don't know how they could have accomplished that any other way. And getting a Solo origin story, he's one of the most popular characters in Star Wars.
He really is.
And I think that was a great jump off point for kind of an origin story on some of the main characters. We didn't really get one. You already have Luke and Leia's origin. You know where they came from, Polis Massa.
It's not nice, though.